Are you throwing the smoke?
Na, just fell. Mayang buntag, mayang hapon, mayang gabi, no matter where you are in the world. That yeah, today's video is a little bit late coming. A couple of reasons. First, primarily, like the title says, that my son and roommate called last night, and it seems the AC in Phoenix went out. So we need to figure that one out. Uh, and he actually was talking to me up until a couple minutes ago. Kind of come up with a game plan on that one.
Oh,
Good morning, Mr. Brandon. How you doing today? That
Phoenix.
he's from Phoenix.
Levine.
That hey, Brandon, you know a good AC guy in Phoenix? Ah, it seems ours went out.
Hi, David.
Good morning, Mr. David. How you doing this afternoon? That I've actually, yeah, I got an app for that. We've got one of the lacrosse internet ready.
Mine is almost done.
That yeah, my train of thought derailed. I'm sorry. We've we, we've got one of those lacrosse weather view things that internet capable, and so I can actually keep an eye on what the weather's doing back at the house in Phoenix. And I looked it up, and yeah, that the inside temperature went from 70s and it shot straight up to 90 plus, and then after they got banned, then it went back down to the 80s. But it's still going back up into the 90s here pretty quick. Yeah, our house is actually our house in Phoenix is set up for an evap, but we don't have one. And yeah, in hindsight, it may not have been a bad idea. But there again, for the weather I guess you guys are having, I'm not terribly sure how much good an evap would do. That the other day he called and just before all this went down, and it was in the evening, and he was showing that you guys were having a horrible monsoon storm. That some of the palm trees were even bending from the weather, from the wind and stuff. But
Your water bottle. Okay. Give me the password. Wait,
Cindy's passport,
Philippine passport.
yeah, Philippines passport. There we go. Now we got it on the screen. I could see that being a horrible distraction for me. And yeah, for people not from Phoenix, 25% is actually kind of high for Phoenix. Uh, it's not at all uncommon for the hydrometer in the weather station to just read a straight line at 10% because the humidity is actually below 10% for a while, which outside of a desert area is all but unheard of. I don't think it's ever gotten. I don't think it ever gets below like 30-40% humidity a year, and people are complaining it's too dry. Uh, but yeah, back in Phoenix for a week or more, it's not uncommon to have less than 10%.
Yeah.
So I guess there's a reversing valve in the AC because we've got an actual heat pump, a train heat pump, and the roommate that we've got is actually an AC tech, but he's went through and done all the diagnostics he can, and he believes it's a reversing valve. That whether it's the circuit board controlling a reversing valve or the valve itself, and he just doesn't have that kind of test equipment to find out. He's retired. He doesn't work doing that anymore, or he'd be able to do it. But he's trying to get hold of a couple friends that still are in the field that might have the diagnostic equipment for it. Ice cubes in the bottle. Okay. That yeah, Cindy doesn't handle sitting for any length of time, and I'll be the first to admit this chair is probably not the most comfortable for her. But so him and I had an in-depth discussion on that one, and are trying to come up with a solution for that one. He said him and Rick may handle it, just handle it, and get it done with. Because the house is getting almost unlivable. And we, Brandon, you are right that even when it does get excessively hot, it's still, yeah, the evap coolers in Arizona, well. Yeah, this is something that's kind of confusing to me. Is I don't know if there are people still watching or what, because the viewer count went down to 0 for a minute, so I wasn't sure if it was the app or what. But I guess it's YouTube itself is just not sending the correct info. I hope that somebody's there watching, but and I know that there's at least one watching because Cindy's phone's still broadcasting it, so there's a delay in comments, and so a lot of times I'll actually sit there and just check that out to make sure that I'm getting all comments. But yeah, YouTube. I'm just giving it YouTube. That it is what it is. And YouTube isn't exactly the greatest. I am getting the budget video done. I got everything cleaned up on the spreadsheet budget. I had intended on doing this through the OBS software to show you guys some of it. Kind of a pre-budget video. But with the delay getting stuff started, I wanted to just get it up and running quick. See, on my screen, I'm showing only one subscriber or one viewer right now, and there's at least 4 or 5 that 3 or 4 that are showing, that are making comments. So bottom line, I'm broadcasting all over the stinking world at this point for free, so I really can't kick too badly that they're not giving me a correct subscriber or correct viewer count. And that's part of the reason why I stopped worrying too heavily about that and just kind of do keep it in my mind. One time we were down in Sabunga for 5 minutes. I didn't get any comments, or it was showing that there was a zero viewers. And so I just did the log off and showed off. Then I've been at it for about 30 minutes. And as I logged off, I got like 3 comments, hey, we're here watching. So after that, I stopped worrying too heavily about it. We'll continue plodding along for the amount of time that for at least 30 to 45 minutes, even if it shows 0. Especially with my walking live stream. And that's just it. There's more people than that commenting. So, there's more than 2 people commenting. So you know that there's more than that. But like I say, bottom line, I'm broadcasting worldwide for free. So I'm not terribly worried about it at this point, and just appreciative that there is a format we can do this with. And accepting the limitations that it has. And YouTube here a few months ago did do some things differently that it horribly changed it. That up until December, we were getting 300-400 views, and our click-through rate was pretty decent. And then in January, it went to the floor. I kind of got disheartened about it, but I was talking with Amazing Philippines and another vlogger that it has a larger channel, and they said their viewers, their view counts were horribly low comparatively. That it nosedived right about the same time. So I'm thinking YouTube did something different to change the way it's counted or something. But I do know that a lot of my videos aren't being featured in the way that they used to be. So I know there is a little bit, but I don't know. It is what it is. And I'm just appreciative that there is a means to continue doing this. Back to the budget video. I am getting that ready today. The only thing in this quarters that is going to be kind of goofy, and I'm not sure how to handle it, is that we paid off Sunshine for the repairs that were done. And so I think I'm just going to make comments about it and just include it in it. But there's 45,000 pesos. There's almost $1,000 in upgrade costs that really aren't an ongoing cost. But it is something you do need to look at if you're going to be doing a multi-cab year. And that's something Cindy and I talked about. It is, would we ever do a multi-cab again? Yeah, no, not for a primary vehicle. Not for a primary vehicle. Maybe go down and get one and build it custom ourselves or myself, but not for a primary vehicle. There's just been too much of a maintenance headache. Parts for them are almost easier to get in the U.S. than they are here. The information about them is real sketchy. Any of the manuals that I've came across, it did come up to 3 finally, are all in Japanese. There's a few places that do have translations for some of them, but not many. And the mechanics that I've talked to in the U.S. that do import and work with them, they admit the translations aren't always the best. And as far as getting parts that they have, I just pop up before too. As far as getting parts, that they gave me a list of different vehicles in the U.S. that have the same engine that you can get parts to, but you have to order parts through a different engine. I just popped up to 5. That Arctic put the same Suzuki engine in one of their snowmobiles. So you can get engine parts through that. Cushman, one of the scooter manufacturers that does scooters for like meter readers and parking enforcement people, use the same engine and automatic transmission. So depending on depending on the vehicle, you might be able to get automatic transmission parts that way. But again, that's in the U.S. It's not here. My mechanic, yeah, Cindy's kind of squatting, so I'm not sure if she's having problems or. Now I embarrassed her. Sorry. It looked like you were embarrassed. But my mechanic down at Sabunga said that he did get a rebuilt transmission, but had to order it from Japan. It was about $1,500 by itself a few years back. So there are kind of means for getting parts here, but they're hard to get. And bottom line, there is no such thing as AutoZone here. And even the Suzuki dealer, which kind of surprises me, the Suzuki dealers won't buy or won't get or order parts for you. So, you know, that you're stuck with getting refurbished parts.
Yeah. Favorite is healthy. How many are you in there? Oh.
That yeah, you got to love YouTube's system. That it's interesting at best. But a while ago, the viewers counted to 0,
Oh.
yet there were still people counting, and your phone I know was on there. So I don't know. Like I say, the error is human. To really screw things up, you need to involve a computer. So, you know, bottom line, you know, you can go down and get, you know, the Tamron parts and stuff like that from the dealers with no problem, or minimal hassles. And there are aftermarket places you can get parts for more standard vehicles. So would we ever get another multi-cab? Definitely not as a primary vehicle. It's kind of a fun thing to play with and work on after I got, you know, a shop to work on them here. To know that you're going to be doing it yourself and maybe have a better line on where somebody's surplus parts and rebuilders and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe, but not as a primary vehicle yet. I'm not disappointed with getting Sunshine. It's been worth its weight in gold to us. You know, don't get me wrong with that. It's been kind of a fun experience having it, but at the same time, I don't think it's.
Hi, Paul.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Marlene with you, very cool. But yeah, I don't think I'd ever get one again as a primary vehicle. It would have to be a fun vehicle, not a primary one. When we go back to Phoenix, are we going to sell or get rid of Sunshine?
We don't know.
I don't know.
We'll
Right
see.
now, probably not, but we don't know, and we're gonna have to figure out something to do with it. But that's a ways down the road. So circumstances may be completely different by then too. Yeah, and so that's just. But at this point, we have no intentions on getting rid of Sunshine before or after we leave. We just need to figure out something to do with it. We found all the dust. I think I said something about this, but all the dust has finally settled on that accident, and it was about $270, $300 that we wound up owing people. So we were able to pay it off. Everybody signed off on it, and everybody's happy. And so right now we're good and clear on that one. Fortunately, thank God nobody got hurt.
There's no fatal accident.
The guy had a on a scooter even texted Cindy and
Thank you.
you know thanked us for being understanding and being cooperative with that.
Yeah. We didn't run away.
Yeah, they were worried about it. The foreigner catching the plane and getting out of here.
Yes.
And sadly, that's happened. You know that does happen. We were horribly worried about people trying to take advantage of it, and fortunately that didn't happen.
Yeah, we tried to meet in the middle. And we tried to see, okay, is it too much? We think, is it too much, or are they okay with this price?
Oh, if the fan's making too much noise in the background, let us know. We can turn that off for a little bit.
Let's see.
But so that actually did come out that the guy did go to a Honda dealer, and the Honda dealer, wanted the entire front end triple
Very
free
good.
forks and everything else replaced. And so it's pretty high on parts. And the guy admitted, that he didn't want it done through the dealer. And so we told him, how about we just give you the amount he quoted for parts, which was like 8,600 pesos. And,
let them handle the paper.
that they can deal with getting installed however you want. He was riding the scooter. Matter of fact, he rode it to the police station when we paid off.
Yeah.
And so
That's why I told Mama too, and Mama said, "Wait, they're just my Mama's mind." Like, they're just taking advantage, and I said, and then Mama said, "It's okay. God knows." Mama just say, "God knows the people that will take advantage of you. They will." And then Mama said, "At least there's no, fatal accident or."
And we don't know that this doesn't make a difference between them meeting rent and putting food on the table this month too.
Mama
So,
said, maybe they didn't really have food on that day, and then they just asked you money and then so they could buy rice. And I said, it's okay. If they buy food, and then it's okay. At least.
and this is kind of a difference. I would be a lot more upset about being taken advantage of in the U.S. because those people don't need money. Generally, they want money. Generally, that it's not a matter of putting food on the table. It's a matter of getting a new Walkman or a new toy of some kind. And whereas here, it's kind of putting food on the table. Not saying, not dismissing the fact that there are people that would take the money and go out and buy the new toys and stuff like that. But generally, it's a matter of putting food on the table.
Especially now, again, there are a lot of towns that do.
Yeah, I know I've missed a few of you individually, but yesterday the all right, I'm old school. Deal with it.
You walk one. What's? Oh, okay.
Walkman was kind of the predecessor to an iPod.
Yeah, we have that before. I remember. Mama always have the Walkman when she do the farm and listen to the music or radio or something.
All right, yes, I'm showing my age.
Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. You made the comment of it. There's probably quite a few people who wouldn't realize what a Walkman is. Do they even still make those?
Here, there's still Walkman here. In the
Here, there might be.
Yeah, I still see them. Like, in the mountains, and I said, "Why we're still using one?" Yeah, because I'm doing my farming, and I could hear the radio, and so they just do the battery.
I don't think you could buy the cassettes for an actual Walkman.
Here
you can get CDs still somewhat.
Here, the radio, the small radio in the mountain.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I need to change my aunt's radio and buy batteries. Because that's the only entertainment she got. That might be my Christmas gift to her.
A few months ago, not too long after we got here, that her aunt was living in a legit Bahay Kubo. That it was a for real bamboo shack.
Yeah, it almost collapsed.
And it was pretty bad. But we went in and we did repairs to it. We rebuilt it for them, and we built them in a decent NEPA house now.
Yeah.
And we put in an indoor toilet,
Yes.
and it's the first time that she's had.
There's no toilet over it.
Up until that point, they were literally going out and digging cat holes, and that was their facilities.
Yeah.
And this is how old is your aunt?
My father is 60, turning 68, so she's 63. Oh no, she's 65, something like that.
But yeah, that
65, so they're 3 years old. With my papa.
when in this, we're among friends here, so this may be a little embarrassing to her aunt. But Cindy asked her, "Is there anything we can get for you?" And of all the things she asked for, she asked for underwear and a dress.
Underwear, yeah, the dress. So that's what we bought.
And so we got her 3-4 pair of underwear.
What? No, I bought her 6 or 8 pieces of underwear, and then 6 to 8 pieces of dress, and then Mama gave also some of her old clothes. And yeah. She's so
So-
happy, and then some of them long sleeve because it's cold there in the mountain. And slippers, she was so happy with her new slippers. And she said, I never have a new slippers because you're normally barefoot. I'm like, it was so touching.
It was way cool. After everything was built, Papa's siblings all met up there,
Yeah.
and they had a family get together. And I didn't go simply because I didn't want. I wanted it to be family time, and I didn't want them to be concerned about trying to include the
Awkward or
foreigner or
something,
anything like
yeah.
that. I was more than welcome to come. I was actually kind of encouraged to come, but it was a way cool bonding time for them. Cindy got a little bit of video from it,
I
but
need to
I don't think we've
upload
ever
some
really
of-
shared it.
No, we don't. We don't really share family, in-depth family issue and charity work because we try to avoid personal. Call that because that's what we want, and we don't want like people. YouTube is too public.
What little we did share, that we've got a friend of ours back in Phoenix that she does a
Charity,
a charity,
and she's helping a
and
lot
she helped a lot with that.
because I was helping too for over 2 years.
Yeah, that Cindy was the treasurer there for a couple of years.
Treasurer / accountant / secretary, all of the above. Marketing presenter.
But and what little we shared, we were getting some responses like that, and they were immensely appreciated.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say were inappropriate, but they were. I don't want to say not wanted, but I'm not sure how to say it, but it wasn't intended. There we go. It wasn't the intent of posting it that way, and so we just didn't post it.
Much.
More for appearance sake than anything else. We were insanely appreciative of the people that offered help and
Yeah.
such. And there may come a day that we do get a charity going. And her and I have talked about it. Cindy and I have talked about trying to do that.
I can share the picture of my aunt. All right, guys. Have a great day. Thank you, Brandon. That's my aunt.
Definitely thank you. And that's the aunt that we helped. But
I could show a little.
oh yeah, and
A little glimpse of the house.
I think it's more like the 70s, but yeah, the 80s definitely did move to the Philippines.
That's the house. I could show.
But-
Oh. Sorry. There you go.
There we go. That's the
old
house,
house.
the old house.
That's my mama and everything. And then I have the new picture.
Yeah, she's looking for the update we did. And her brother, Gemler, is doing a ton of work up there in the mountains, working with these people and with others there. And what kind of surprised me, and it was way cool, that a lot of the Katap,
Mm-hmm.
the barangays Katap, and a lot of people from the barangay saw what was going on, and they came over and gave help. And so one of the things we did do, and I think we did post some pictures of this, is we did a a dinner for everybody.
Yeah, we give away rice too. So that's the new one. That's the
Yeah, it's nothing fancy, and
that's my aunt. That is
I don't know how well it's coming through, but it's yeah, no, it's not focused here. It's still a neat siding, but they did do a little bit of a block knee wall, and there's a for real concrete floor and all that. And I was going to go up and do a photo spread, and I did get some photos of it,
yeah.
but decided against it and didn't even share the photos that I got, just simply because of it was being taken out of context, and
Yeah,
uh,
that's the back.
okay. I don't know if it's focusing in on it. There we go. But yeah, that's the house that we built. And there was a ton of people that worked with that. And
It was
it was a really cool experience.
Yeah, it was.
And I am not asking for money. I'm not begging money. Don't take that way. Please don't make any offers. It only cost like $1,500-1,800 for the entire project. And so it wasn't insanely expensive. And like I say, in the future, will we do that again for somebody we don't know? Yeah, there's definitely a chance. And there's unquestionably the need up there. But at that time and place was not the right time and place to try and do a charity thing. The fact it was being done for a relative was not.
Yeah.
It was a way cool experience.
Yeah, it was.
But one of the things we did get her that they and how we kind of went up into this discussion is she's still got an old AM/FM radio.
Yeah.
That's their entertainment, and we got her a nicer, newer one. But it's still just a portable transistor radio.
Yeah,
But
we
she-
give a lot of blankets, pillows,
Yeah.
kitchenwares, new plates, cups, spoon and fork, wok, pot, what I call that, thermos. Most of the kitchen stuff. Yes, all of her stuff was so old and it was just, rusty and everything. So make sure to write down and get in the public.
Yeah,
market.
some of her cookware was looking older than I am. But it was well used. They cooked over an outdoor fire. They cooked over a campfire.
Yeah.
That was what they do. Her husband passed away a while ago.
Yeah. Papa and her didn't really met after that, and I don't know. Well, Papa has a lot also, and that's why I don't know. So, what's the reason why? We thought that my uncle, the police, was helping her, and that's what been spread there, and we didn't realize that there's no help given. So,
Yeah, that she lives. It's 30-minute drive
30. Because we thought that my
getting
uncle was
deep into the mountains.
because that's the news spread in the town, like, oh, my uncle is helping, and we didn't realize there's no help.
But when we went up there,
We're supposed to just visit, as in visit.
yeah, it was supposed to be just a visit to go up, say hi, and stuff like that, and
We
we
didn't.
brought some food to have a dinner and stuff like that, and didn't realize that they really didn't have any way to cook the food that we brought.
So the neighbors are helping it. We use the neighbors to cook it.
But that's when we thought that there was actually a need. Yes, I put water in the freezer overnight, and
Yeah. So we might need to do a short live stream today because we need to run to the bank, go to one pavilion, go groceries, pay the electric bill.
Yeah, we do need to get to one pavilion
We need to
today.
do a lot of groceries because we don't know if we get locked down again here in Cebu.
Yeah, that we posted that the other day. Lapu Lapu, I don't get experience. I think sent that one to me. The Lapu Lapu was locking down.
There's a lot of town, Boal, Santander, Sambuan.
And yeah, that we found that there's been a bunch here in Cebu province
Mandawi, and we don't know
that are
if
locking
Cebu
down
City,
again. Cebu
so-
City it is reinstituting the liquor ban. You can drink liquor, you can still buy from like 7-Eleven and take it home, but you can't be served liquor.
Yeah.
So a lot of the pubs and stuff like that are getting shut down again. And it just, I when we got here and up until a month or so ago, I was still thinking things were going to be opened or at least opening over the summer, not closing down worse.
It's like backwards. No?
It's getting bad enough that her and I were kind of joking around, toying with the idea of going back. That we did. We talked about the pros and cons and the feasibility of leaving and going back to the States now. That she's got some friends that have been tested COVID positive that are pregnant, and the hospitals and the birthing centers started getting stupid, and that they put them in quarantine centers and crap like that, and it's
Interesting.
it's interesting. It's some crazy times we're living in. It's I don't know. I don't know. But bottom line, we realized that's just not feasible or practical at this point. The medical expenses in the U.S. would be so stinking outrageous that we just couldn't do it. Mama and Papa has some things that they need to take care of that couldn't be done right now. So it'd have to be just the two of us and Mama and Papa potentially following us at a later date. If Cindy went back, she would have to immediately get back, get employed to get medical insurance and hope that the medical insurance would cover a pre-existing pregnancy, which a lot won't. And yeah, the logistics, the expense, closing this place up, we'd have to try and get out of the lease that we're in. It just turned out that the cons far outweighed any potential pros. And so we're just going to have to keep it in prayers that it doesn't get stupid here and that everything goes along smoothly. Yeah. And we did agree that when Pumpkin gets their U.S. passport, we'll revisit going back early at that point. But that's not going to be until February, March at the earliest anyhow. So we'll have to revisit it at that point and just see what's going on, the practicality and feasibility of it at that point. But yeah, I don't see us going back before that. And we're kind of at that wall. If we wanted to go back, it'd have to be done in the next 30 days. After that, most airlines won't fly 8-9 month pregnant women because of risks of being, premature labor and everything else. Especially on these bigger international flights. And you get over the Pacific, there's just no place to go. You're stuck there until you get to the West Coast hub. And so the restrictions on pregnant women flying are much more severe on the international flights like that. But so no, there's no chance. But we did toy around with the idea. We didn't discuss the feasibility of it. And just came up. It's not feasible or practical at this point.
Yeah. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for your call.
But
Use the restroom. We just gonna end up on.
yeah, I got a little pregnant. They got it. You know, the 20-minute potty breaks, or potty breaks every 20 minutes. But yeah, it's getting silly here. But overall, I will still take here because of the way too many positives that are still here. Yeah, and just deal with the negatives that do come down the pike. The travel restrictions are kind of a pain, but at this point, we're really not doing any much minutes traveling anyhow. We were talking about trying to do some road trips for over the next month or two while she was still able to travel. So those are kind of kiboshed anyhow, but yeah, it's not that big of a deal to us. It's regretful that we're not being able to do that, but it's not that big of a deal. It is. No worries. Appreciate you coming and stopping by, Paul. That we're actually going to be kind of finishing up. That we've got to let everybody know what's going on. Yesterday, I started to do a lot of scanning for documents, and we realized that we need to be a little bit more organized with that and get a lot more to scan in. And I do need to get that video at least recorded, if not edited today too. So we got a few things, and then on top of that, we got to go get do a little bit of grocery run, pay the electric bill. Electric bills here are almost more expensive than they are in Phoenix. The AC that we've got here is not terribly great. We've taken out plugging it during the day. Again, during the days here, and I'll make this argument that with the humid air, get it moving, it's comfortable. It may not be great, but it's comfortable. And so that's what we're going with. And I would like to, and don't know if we're going to have time to do it today, I would like to try and get down to the SRP area and see if I can get over to that bay walk somehow. And then maybe just doing a drive-by and seeing if there's a way to get parked over there. If we can get parked, we may go do that. We may take a quick look and see what it would be. But so I may go do some posting on that. Keep an eye on Facebook, our Facebook page. You may see some cool pictures. You may not. I don't know. All kind of depends on time and traffic here in Cebu City. But I am going to let everybody get going. It's been about 45 minutes now. My apologies for being a little bit late in getting this started this morning. But we did need to have that conversation with my son and a roommate. But thank everyone for showing up. And we do appreciate the continued support, especially on these ones that are the talking head videos. But for now, from Cebu City, mabuhay people.